Well, hey, good day there. It's Wrench Gear here again, and we got a bit of a project. Always got a project on the go all the time. Today we are working on the mighty Mercury. There he is. That's 15 horses of four-stroke power going on there. Woo wee! But you know what? It pushes this little tin boat along here pretty nice. It's a 14-foot tinner. Go out and do a little bit of fishing in this thing once in a while, and it's all good. This thing here is a 2000 and 2006 model. But you know, we've been noticing here lately, this thing doesn't really have a whole lot of hours on it, to tell you the truth. But we've been noticing this thing lately, it doesn't like to run without having the choke out. It wants to choke halfway out. So only wants to run on the choke. So I'm thinking first thing we're going to try, and I'm pretty sure that this is what it is. We've got some gummy, the hummy gummy going on inside that carb there. So we're gonna try hopefully an easy fix on this. We're gonna whip this air intake off here a little bit, and we're gonna shoot a bunch of carburetor cleaner in there, and hopefully melt some gum and goo off of a jet or something. That's what we're gonna hope for anyway. But first things we're gonna try just before that, or we're going to do this in addition to, we're going to put some fuel injector cleaner into the tank here. Just going to dump some of that in there. This tank is he's a three gallons there, and he's probably just a little bit less than half full. So swapping that into liters, I don't know what's in there. Maybe I don't know, 6 or 7 liters or something. I don't know what's in there. And then you have this here stuff. It's always math, all the time with the math. So this thing here is saying 400 and, I can't read that. 473 mils, which is this whole thing. 473 is supposed to do 250 liters of fuel. So I don't know how much 6 liters takes, for crying out loud. It's just ridiculous. So I think we're gonna squirt a bunch in there, and we're gonna call it good. See if I can undo this here with one hand. Probably not. My son tightened that with 2 hands. Holy mackerel. Hi-ya. Okay, got it. Okay, so we're gonna, okay, well, come on now, don't be like that, be like this. Okay, so we're gonna shoot a bunch up in there. We're gonna make that thing half full, and that's probably way too much, but at this point, that's probably a good thing. So we're going to dump him in like so, and that'll do that. And we're going to give that a bit of a shake. All right, and we're going to try and get this thing running, and we're going to see what it's going to do. All right, so we're going to see how this thing's going to behave now. Now watch this now, because the thing's probably going to start up and run fine. Make a liar out of me, but that might be a good thing anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing going and see how it goes. So we're gonna give this thing here a few shots of the bulb. It's good and hard already there, and all right, got it up on run here. We're going to pull that choke out a little bit there. Give him some about half throttle. And let's see how he goes. Alright, so that's par for the course there. It's going to have to be started a few times for the thing to stay going. Hey. The whole place falling apart on me. All right. Yeah, so that's kind of par for the course on this thing here. We're gonna play with that choke on it there, in and out and in and out and in and out until the thing wants to keep going. So I'm gonna give her another shot and see if I can get this thing warmed up a little bit. All right, so we got him running there, and he's warming up good. The temperature's warming up pretty good on that tattletale there. Yeah, it's nice and warm coming out of there now. So it is running on idle, although it is kind of a fast idle there right now. The choke is probably half to 3/4 the way out. So yeah, so as soon as you push the choke in, it'll quit right away because it's gone too lean. Yeah, as soon as you touch that choke, it's off right away because it goes too lean. So we're going to take that air intake off the front of that carb there, and we're going to spray a bunch of stuff in there and hope for the best. Okay, so we're gonna take this guy here off, and we're gonna start off by pulling this breather hose off of here, and then we're gonna be going after this. Here is a 10mm. Oh, the famous 10mm. Don't lose your socket. Oh, geez, and another one right there, and that bolt is holding this guy to the carb, but it also goes all the way through, and it holds the carb to the manifold here, and here is the back end of them. So we're going to take it off and play really gentle with it, and we're going to just spray a bunch of guck and goo in there, and some throttle body cleaner and air intake cleaner and all kinds of cleaner and whatever all else, and we'll get it running and see if it improves at all. Fingers crossed that that's going to help this all out. All right, so try and balance this thing here somehow, like so. And we're going to take this thing here off. And we'll get rid of that wobbly out of there. We'll reach in for the back one. And if I do this just right, I can drop all this stuff right down into that big bucket of water down there that's cooling this whole thing. But let's see how it goes. All right, so we got that one here out, and we're gonna take this one here. I'm hoping I don't have to disconnect this, but I'm not sure how that comes off. That almost looks like it's just, the thing's just pushed on there. Watch me break this now. I can do this. I can do it and break it. I've broken things like this before. Oh, look at that. There you go. You don't see that every day. So this thing here is, I don't know, another rod there. Hopefully we're not going to struggle with that too much. It's not going to tangle us up too much. But anyway, let's even get this thing here somewhat loose. And maybe we spray in the carb from behind there, depending where the throttle plate is and all that. All right. See if this is going to work for us here. So I don't have a torque spec to put that thing back together with, but I think it's just one of those. Look at that. Look at there. Take it easy. Don't lose that. All right, so it was like this. It looks like it's the same either way, but I'm going to put it back on the same way it came off. So it was on like that. I'm going to put it, the top side goes towards the carb. Here we got there's another gasket there. I'm not going to mess with that gasket because I don't have one. I don't want to go out and buy one. So anyway, let's take a look in there. Throttle plate's right here. All right, let me see. So here's the throttle plate right here. I'm going to open that up some. I'm going to open it up, and I'm just going to spray a bunch of stuff in there. and see if we have good luck with it or not. Fingers crossed it's all going to work. All right, so we got some air intake cleaner here, and we're going to throw it in, and if there's a little bit of gummy goo in there, hopefully it'll melt it all off. Get on that main jet or whatever it needs, or it's, I don't know if there's a problem with the main jet being clogged, or if there's something on the idle circuit, or what it is. But yeah, as soon as that thing comes off of, well, you saw it, as soon as it comes off of choke, the thing dies instantly. So all right, we're gonna spray a whole bunch in here, and we'll let it soak for a bit. And I think we're gonna like pretty much call it good and see how it goes. Because short of taking that carburetor off and trying to do more for it, and I don't have any gaskets or anything for it, so you know, it may very well need a whole rebuild. I don't know. I'm a car mechanic. I'm not a marine mechanic, but okay, we're gonna stick this back on. The marine guys are probably going, "Oh God, don't spray that stuff on there." Jeez, too late. Got sprayed on. So we're gonna screw this thing all back together here, and see how this thing is gonna run or not run. Probably wrecked something there now. All right, is it catching? Oh yeah. Yeah, so I don't have any torque specs for this, but this is one of those make them good and snug and don't try to kill anything. You know, Mongo make tight and all that type of thing. Just go easy on it. We're not trying to wreck the whole world. It's just a small little carburetor. I'm gonna pinch it in there. My ratchet keeps reversing on me. All right. And we'll try and crank them down a little bit evenly, and hopefully this gets a good airtight seal in here that's not going to try and suck some air and past that and you know, lean things out there. All right, good and snug, and good and snug. All right, so we're going to stick this guy back on. We're going to stick this guy back on. This is actually the that's the choke cable there, and this is the throttle here, throttle linkage going on there. So an idle speed right here. So anyway, we're gonna let that soak and melt some of the gum and some of the goo, and we'll see how the thing's gonna go in a minute or two. Okay, so well, I got called away from this job, and now I'm just getting back to it here. It's a couple hours later. But anyway, that little squirt of that shot that I put in there didn't seem to do anything for it. I had it running, and it didn't help at all. It was exactly the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this thing all off, and I think I'm going to leave it all together because it appears that there's 4 screws here that are holding this manifold onto the engine. And I think I'm going to pull that thing off and get it over to a workbench, and I'm going to pop the bowl off the bottom there, and I'm going to go up into the jet there. There should be 2 jets in there. Should be an idle jet and a high-speed jet, main jet. So we're going to get them out and clean them out. I suspect there's some goo and guck in there. So anyway, yeah, we're going to take these 4 off. They appear like they're 10 millimeters again. We're going to pop this guy here off. I already got this here breather off, and then we're just going to deal with this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how much of that is sticking out of there before I remove this screw. And then later on, I can just, I'll push it back in there so there's that much sticking out again and tighten it down. And we should be at the same. That's for the, that's for your twist or your grip there, your twister gripper throttle there, right? So, so we're going to do that on that. And, we're going to get this off, get it over to a workbench and start pulling this thing apart a little bit. Like I said, I don't have any gaskets or O-rings or anything for this thing or new jets or anything. So this thing's got to go back out on the lake in about 2 days from now. So hopefully I'm not going to destroy any gaskets. We're going to have to try and chase some down, order them, do whatever. Hopefully this is going to be all pretty straightforward in there and get it apart and get it back together. All right, so here he is. He's off. I'm actually in the wood shop here today. Using table saw here for the bench. May as well. So yeah, this thing was very easy to come off with just these 4 bolts here. 4 bolts. This choke cable that was on here. The throttle linkage that was on here. So I measured that, and it was exactly from the end of that rod right to that brass. Was exactly 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to slip that back into, measure 1/4 of an inch, tighten the screw, and way to go. And then on the bottom here was a fuel line. And that's it. Very simple. This thing came off truly in 2 minutes. There's nothing to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I don't like turning these things upside down because there's crap and crud inside and they're falling everywhere, but we're going to take this off, and it's upside down now, and stuff's moving around in there. But we're going to take this float bowl off the bottom here, 4 screws, and we're going to see how much crap and whatever is in there, and the condition of those jets in there. All right, got those 4 screws all out. We'll take this last one out, and turn this thing upside down and see what we got in there. Is it going to pop right off? Oh, yeah, it popped off there. Okay. Ooh, what's in there? Oh, he's looking pretty clean in there. The cleaner the better. Cleanliness and godliness and all that whole thing when it comes to carburetors and stuff. This is your float. When the fuel's coming in, this thing will go up and down, and it'll regulate the height of the fuel, level of the fuel inside that bowl. So there's a needle and seat down in here as this thing goes up and down. It's lifting up and down on this right here, and we can visualize how that's going. Probably not. Anyway, that regulates the fuel coming in. When it goes down, it shuts off. Well, it's upside down. So when this thing is this way, that's going up and down. Turns the fuel on and off. Yeah. Okay. So these will be the 2 jets here that we're going to pull these screws out of here. This will be the main jet. It's right in the middle. This will be the idle jet. And for the idle circuit, usually there would be an idle adjustment screw in here, not just idle speed, but actual idle mixture screw. Should be on the side here somewhere. Who knows? That is not it. It might have been originally behind here, and they've capped them off at the factory, and that could very well be where the idle mixture screw was at one point, and they've capped that off. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it at this point. We're going to pull these out of here, and we're going to see what kind of shape they're in, and then we're going to put it back together and get this thing going. I actually might be doing that tomorrow in the daylight because it's starting to get dark outside. But we'll see how it runs after I do this. And if it still runs like crap, well, it runs good. But if it still won't run without being on the choke, then maybe we're going to be getting into getting into something else here, maybe taking more apart. I don't want to go too far in it. I don't want to take this plate off the top because I don't have gaskets and stuff, like I said. So I'm trying to go ginger with this thing here. So anyway, I'm going to pull these out and see how they are in there. All right, so we're getting deeper and deeper into this thing here all the time. Anyway, I had to take it apart here. Took this guy off of here again with those same two long ones that I had apart before. Because this, I took the main jet out, and there's a tube in there. It's called a percolator tube. We call it in automotive. I don't know if that's the same here as well. I'm guessing it is. But anyway, this tube was in there, and I couldn't get it out. I had to go in the throat and push it down with a screwdriver. Sticks up in there. Push it down with a screwdriver to get it to pop out. So the only way I could do that was to get this guy off of there. So anyway, this thing here is full of a bunch of little holes around the outside, and come on. Anyway, it is. There's a couple of them there. Those holes have to be all cleared out and clean. So you have to check that. And honestly, some of these here do seem like they're a little bit plugged full of gunk. This here is the main jet, and it seems to be clear. Like the hole is clear. You can see all the way through it. If you put a light behind it, I stuck my flashlight from the phone behind it, and I could see through it. This here is the idle jet, and it has holes to let air in there as well. And there's also an incredibly small hole going down through the middle there. It's just the size of a hair. And I put the flashlight behind it, and I can see through it too. So I'm not sure what we're into. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run something through there, just like a little. I'm going to take some stranded wire, and I'm going to peel one strand of it out, and I'm going to push it through this thing here, and just through this here, and rub it all with a bunch of carburetor cleaner. And I'm going to spray this whole thing down. I'm going to blow it all out with the air hose, and put it back together and see where we're at. This float actually looks like it's going a little bit high as well. When it's this way, it floats. So it's supposed to be perfectly level. I don't know. It might be all right. I might adjust that float height a little bit, and you do that by bending a little tab in here when you take this thing apart. There's a tab in there that's moving that needle up and down, and or at least I think there is. There always used to be. We're going to have a look at that in a minute anyway. And I might adjust that float height there a little bit. And we'll stick them all back together, blow it all out with the air hose, and stick them back together and see how he goes. So it appears that this float height is not adjustable. That's the needle there. Goes down into the seat down in there. It's not adjustable. The end of that needle there just slips onto a plastic groove right in here, that plastic slot. So not adjustable. It is what it is. So I've got that all cleaned out in there anyway. Sprayed a bunch of the throttle body cleaner down in there, and sprayed in here, sprayed all in here, down into here as well. But that kind of shoots over into the main jet side. And blew it all out with the air hose. There's down in here. This is where your fuel comes in from this guy. Fuel goes in there, and it runs along an internal channel in there, and it comes into this needle and seat. So I sprayed a bunch in there as well, and blew the air through there just to clean it all out. So nothing came out of there, I don't think. I'm going to shoot a little bit of it in here too. That's got to be some sort of a well, it's on this side. Got to be some sort of enrichment for something. Probably accelerator pump, I guess. When you shove it down, it's going to pump on here. Yeah, pump on here and shoot a little bit of gas in there as an accelerator pump. for when you're giving her the guns there, eh? When you're going off the when you're going to go off idle and you want to get her moving there, it gives it an extra shot of gas there so it doesn't stumble as it's going along. Anyway, I'm going to spray some in there and blow the air through it, like so. I'm going to do that a few times and I'm going to get this thing back together. See how it goes. Well, like I said, it's pitch black outside now anyway, so I think this will have to wait till tomorrow. But well, I'm going to put it together tonight, and we'll get her going tomorrow and see how it runs. All right. Well, one last thing here. I decided to take this plate off of here, see what was under there, and see if it needed some cleaning. And I thought it was unnecessary at first, but I took that off, and there was actually quite a bit of crud back down in there. This here is actually open to atmosphere. I guess the this big rubber gasket that's on here leaves that all open. Whoop, out of frame there. Sorry. Leaves that all open there. So I don't know, crap and crud and whatever gets all in there, and yeah. So anyway, I got it all cleaned out. There's right in that slot there, right in here. There's a couple little holes drilled in there, whatever. So there's also some sort of an orifice right here. And when you spray that throttle body cleaner in there, it goes in there and it comes shooting out of here. I don't know what it all does. I don't get it. Like I said, I'm suspecting that this may have been an idle mixture screw at some point, and it's ending right there with a brass plug. So I don't know. This may be something to do with my problem. Possibly. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what all those holes are for. Somebody else a lot smarter than me does. They invented it, not me. So all I know is they need to be clean, and they're all clean. I sprayed them all full, blew them all full of air. And I'm going to put that plate back on, and this thing will be going back together here with these ends on them here. And get this thing running tomorrow. So yeah, this is actually a pretty simple carburetor. So nothing to be nervous about if you're going to dive into one of these things. Just know that you may need gaskets for it, or needle and seat if there's a mark on that needle or something. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this off, and we'll get her running. Get her running tomorrow. Yeah. So getting this thing back together here now. It's the next day. Got the fuel line on the bottom here, and we're gonna slip a gasket in there and just bolt them back on, and that's all just how it sits in there. Nothing more to it than that. All right, balance that thing there so it doesn't fall in the water. All right, so he's all bolted back on and all ready to go. We got the hose in the bucket making more water here. So we're going to give this thing here a whirl, and fingers crossed that this thing is going to go. Okay, going to pump this up and see if we can force some gas into that float bowl. Oh yeah, she's coming out there now, leaking like mad here. It's too much. So we're going to pull the choke on, run up. Give it a little bit of this, and we're going to see how he goes. All right, well, that's worse than expected. Maybe I flooded that thing there because I was pumping on that bulb too much. Okay, well, that's that. Let's see what I can come up with here. Well, so it seems I must have flooded that thing maybe when I was pumping that primer bulb there before. So I took the spark plugs out of this thing, and they were completely soaked beyond all belief. So I took them out, dried them off with the air hose, blew them all off. And I stuck the blowgun inside the cylinder holes there and gave them a shot. And put it all back together, and now she goes good. So we'll give her a try here again. Put that on, leave the choke in. This thing here is basically off, and give her a shot. There he goes. So there he's going good there now. I'm gonna so that's on that's about half choke there now. I'm gonna shut the choke off. Choke's all the way in. And he's stumbling a little bit there because he's still cold. This is the first he's run. So pull the choke out about halfway. Alright, so choke's in all the way and he's running good, idling good. I'm turn that idle speed down a little bit here. All right, purring like a kitten, man. So that's good. All right, let me shut this thing off. So yeah, I don't know what I came across in that carb there. I didn't really see anything bunged up or whatever. I didn't see too much dirt in there. There was a little bit of stuff. So obviously something was plugged just a little bit, enough to give it a problem. But seems to be going good now. So you know, spraying all that stuff in there, just giving it a good cleaning there was just enough for it, I guess. So we'll see how it goes. This thing's got to go to the lake. I don't know, tomorrow or the day after. My son's taking it on a fishing trip with a buddy there, camping for the weekend and what have you. So yeah, all is good so far. I'm gonna play around with it for the rest of the afternoon a little bit, but I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna be all good now. So anyway, that's how I went about fixing this thing. So give me a like and subscribe there for me, please. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope that this is going to help somebody else along. They can look at it and just do a quickie here. Honestly, I have 1 hour into this whole entire job. So, if don't be so quick to take it off to a marina or something there like that. You can play around on your stuff at home once in a while too. So, like I said before, that's a very simple carburetor to get in and out of and clean things up in there. But anyway, yeah, thanks very much for watching if you made it this far, and I hope it helps somebody out. So until I see you with something else on the go here, thanks very much.